Some people do this thing where they're like, I'm going to go to sleep at 8 p.m. every night or 9 p.m. No, you're not, motherfucker. That's when all the good shows are on. That's when Netflix is like, hey, you should probably watch this. And you probably will. But there's a very big difference between once every 2 weeks pulling an all-nighter or going to bed at 2 a.m. and doing that like 3 days a week. That second one is going to mess with your gains because your sleep will be highly suboptimal. So having a ritual of where you brush your teeth, then you take a hot shower, then you curl up with a good book, that sequence, even if it's small, can make a big difference. Folks, why did I yell that? Hello, RP Strength says I have to say I'm Dr. Mike for RP Strength. Now that my legal stuff is taken care of, let's talk about how sleep hygiene works, how you can get better sleep, and some examples of how I get my good sleep with my phenomenal life that I love so much. Sleep is a big deal for gains. Study after study show that if you don't get enough sleep, your ability to grow muscle suffers tremendously. Your ability to gain fat is boosted tremendously. And even if you're at a caloric deficit, your ability to lose fat is severely hampered, which means that if you're on a weight loss journey in a caloric deficit, if you don't get enough sleep, you might be losing muscle and not fat. I'm not kidding. It's a real thing. So let's talk about how to get good sleep. I have 11 tips for you today. This really is kind of a really big deep dive. So don't listen to this before you go to sleep. Otherwise, it's going to be boring and you're going to nod off. But if you are still here with us, put in your headphones, look around you. The world is beautiful. Let's talk about sleep. Number one is to have a consistent Number one is to have a consistent sleep-wake schedule. Going to bed at roughly the same time every day. Roughly, I'll get to that in a second. What that means, even weekends, can strengthen your circadian rhythms, improving your sleep quality majorly. If you go to bed and wake up at roughly the same time on most days, this reinforces your biological clock, which is an internal thing that happens in your brain. It makes sure you're secreting melatonin, which puts you to sleep at the right time. And it makes sure you're secreting cortisol in the morning to wake you up at the right time and not secreting a bunch of cortisol when you're supposed to be going to bed or melatonin when you're supposed to be waking up. If you can get into that habit, even over a few days, it really does improve sleep quality. And the real world tip here is to pick realistic times. Some people do this thing where they're like, I'm going to go to sleep at 8 p.m. every night or 9 p.m. No, you're not, motherfucker. That's when all the good shows are on. That's when Netflix is like, hey, you should probably watch this. And you probably will. So instead, pick some realistic times. For many people, that's between 10, 11, and midnight o'clock. Get your 7.5 to 8.5 hours. Wake up at that time roughly every night. Now, plus or minus 30 minutes, even plus or minus an hour is not a big deal, but the less variation you can have, the better. Is it okay to party every now and again and get crazy on the weekends and not sleep? Yes, you're living life. It's no big deal. But there's a very big difference between once every 2 weeks pulling an all-nighter or going to bed at 2 a.m. and doing that like 3 days a week. That second one is going to mess with your gains because your sleep will be highly suboptimal. Me personally, I'm usually in bed by about 11 p.m., sometimes as late as midnight. On the weekends, I tend to be high on edible marijuana, which I mostly take earlier in the day, so I'm not super high by the time I go to bed. But weed makes me very, very tired and groggy, so I'll often go to bed at even earlier on weekends, which sounds like I'm not having any fun in my life. Yes, this is a cry for help. Now and again, you can go crazy, have an all-nighter. It just can't be all the time. Number 2 tip, morning sunlight exposure. Instead of the sun, it's better to look at a poster of Andrew Huberman. That way you can get direct sunlight through your eyelids. You can even look at it with your eyes closed. It still works. On a serious note, as is actually true, that 10 to 20 minutes of sunlight exposure to your eyes in the morning can regulate circadian timing. It makes you more alert in the day and actually preps you for being sleepier at night, even if the sunlight was delivered in the morning. That's how that works. So it's really, really awesome. The sunlight activates retinal cells, synchronizing your biological clock, suppressing melatonin, and stimulating serotonin, actually, to get your morning vibes to be really, really awesome. You can do this in a couple of different ways. You can take a morning walk. You can enjoy your coffee sitting on your porch or something and taking in the daylight hours. You probably don't want sunglasses. You want real, actual, unfiltered light to hit your retinas. You don't have to stare directly into the sun, and cloudy days are totally fine. Just going outside and looking around at outdoor things and at the sky every now and again for 10 to 20 minutes is going to do what it's supposed to do. So please do not stare directly at the sun. Me. I'm really bad about this. I generally wake up and I walk for 45 seconds to the gym, or I wake up and I go downstairs to the basement where there is intentionally no light and I go to work. It's not great. We do keep, my wife and I, one of our bedroom windows is permanently unblinded so that morning sunlight gets in, which does help with waking in the springtime and in the summer and the early fall. When we get into the winter time, it's Michigan, there is no sun, so that's a bit wacky. I personally like it when the mornings are dark because I'm Russian and for some reason that reminds me of home, but I wouldn't recommend this. So this one I get a big hit on. I actually don't do nearly as well as I should, and I'm considering getting better about it. So just to show you that even though I am perfect in every measurable way, in these bullshit ways that don't really count because I'm awesome and flawless, I err like you people do, but less often because I'm better. But on a serious note, for real, yeah, like, just try to do your best, man. I'm all supposed to be living my best life here with these recommendations. I don't get them all. No big deal. Just try to do your best. Point number 3 is to do a digital detox. It's where you get an IV and digits go in. No, well, that was a different thing. Screen limitations before bed. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're never going to do it, but hold on. There's a hack. Reducing screen time 30 to 60 minutes before trying to go to sleep prevents blue light interference. Blue light is the part of the light spectrum that tells your primate ass, like, hey, primate, wake up. It's morning time. It's daytime. It's daytime. It's daytime. In our evolved ancestry, we really never experienced any kind of blue light hitting our eyes after the sun went down. Where the fuck would you find blue light in the natural world after the sun goes down? Exactly. Basically nowhere. So it's basically anytime you get blue light, your brain's like, oh shit, it's daytime. Let's go. And so if you're taking in normal blue light from devices, from your TV, from your cell phone, etc., then your brain's like, I know it's 11 p.m., but is it really? Because I'm getting sunlight, baby. Let's go. And so that's not ideal remotely. What can we do about this? First of all, you can just stop 30 to 60 minutes before bed with devices. You can read a book, shit like that. A real book. I know it's kind of weird. However, almost every digital device now offers a night mode, which I turn on every digital device that offers it. So the device actually doesn't shoot blue light anymore. It just does the warmer tones, which is really 2 birds with 1 stone. We'll have more to say in a little bit about how to manage what kind of content you're consuming at night, because that still matters, but it turns out you can have your screens up as long as they are blue light filtered. You can also put on the blue light glasses if you want. Those are kind of funky. Most people don't like to wear them around. If you want to wear it, I think that's totally great. But a lot of times your phone will just have the filter on it to begin with. So it's really, really awesome. And then a lot of people will have their devices really close to them when they sleep and sometimes wake up in the middle of the night when they can't sleep and start scrolling on them. And if they're blocked off, that's okay. But if they're not blue light blocked, then it's a bad idea. Sometimes if you're really tempted to go to devices and to piss away your time in the middle of the night, just put the charger and the device out of reach from your bed. You're not going to get out of bed, you lazy asshole. You're just going to sit in bed and then you're good to go and you'll fall back asleep. So something to do that. Now, the way I do this in my own life is pretty much almost every night. The last thing I do is talk to ChatGPT. It's my best friend. And I use the 4.5 model for deep wisdom because it's the smartest thing in the world. And my screen auto shifts at 8 p.m. to night mode, so it doesn't bother me. And I'll tell you more about why talking to ChatGPT and the way I do it is a little bit better than some other ways that I've used to engage in digital devices, but that's another tip. All right. Next up, number 4 is strategic substance timing. What you want to do is you want to take in no caffeine within 8 hours of your bedtime and no alcohol within 2 to 4 hours of your bedtime, because both can degrade sleep quality. Caffeine blocks adenosine receptors, which are sleep-inducing receptors. Caffeine basically tricks your brain into thinking you're not tired when you actually are. Not great. Alcohol disrupts deep sleep and REM sleep, which is also not ideal. You can get to sleep faster with alcohol, but the high quality sleep is going to be missing for many, many hours of the night. So real world wise, I mean, this is one of these things where science kind of gives you a big middle finger. People drink coffee and they drink soda all day long. The real recommendation is to stop before noon. When the hell am I supposed to drink coffee in the morning? Maybe I drink coffee at noon and that's good enough. And that's not bad. You get 2 pumps for the day. Not terrible. Obviously, keeping alcohol minimal because it's just toxic and not good for almost any part of you is a good start. But if you're going to have it early in the evening, hydrate well afterwards so it doesn't disrupt your sleep quality, it doesn't make you dehydrated. And if, consider replacing your evening alcohol with, I don't know, just staring at the wall or some shit like that. ChatGPT says replace it with herbal tea or sparkling water. But I mean, Scott, does that really replace alcohol in any meaningful way?
Nah.
Like, it's not just about drinking something. It's about me having the demons shut up for at least 5 minutes of my goddamn day while the wife is at me, at my throat. For me personally, I almost never use alcohol or caffeine. Alcohol makes me dumber and very sick, and it no longer reduces my social anxiety, which is down to 0 to begin with at this point in my life. So just there's no point for me to have alcohol. My caffeine intake is 0 because it just gives me anxiety. It's not worth it for me, and it sure as shit keeps me up at night. So that. So for me, I just duck both of these by just never engaging in them. I'm not saying that you should do that though. I'm a weird person with very weird things in my life, and don't just copy me. I'm not some kind of health guru. Sure shit, not in practice, but just for me, I just duck it all together. However, I do use edible marijuana on the weekends, and that does interfere with sleep quality. And so I use it early. I typically take it somewhere between 12 p.m. and 2 p.m. So that I can be high all day. And then by the nighttime, I'm feeling crisper. And then I wake up feeling snappy the next day. Usually I'm still pretty groggy, but after a few hours that morning, I feel right as rain. All right, number 5. This is a big one. This is a huge one. Optimizing your bedroom temperature and ventilation. Massive. A cool bedroom enhances sleep efficiency and depth because in our evolved environment, notice when the sun goes down, it always gets colder. And so that cold kind of coming in tells your body like, hey, like it's sleep time now. It's a big deal. And your body temperature tends to drop when sleep onset hits, and this kind of can drop it for you. So it's a double whammer. The other thing is ventilation, as multiple studies have found that with really good airflow in your room, your sleep quality is better. If you have stagnant air, your sleep quality is worse, which is not a good thing whatsoever. And you can do things about this. So the recommended bedroom temperature, some of you are going to be like, what the fuck, is 60 to 67 degrees Fahrenheit, 15 to 19 degrees Celsius. That is cold. The rule I use for myself is if it's too cold to sleep without a blanket, but in my blanket I feel cozy and warm, it's going to lead to the best sleep. And typically that's how you can gauge it. So if you're one of these very lean people that's very hot climate adapted genetically, if you're, for example, of African ancestry, it is unlikely that you're going to be interested in sleeping in 60 degrees. You're going to be like, white people are crazy, and you're going to be completely right. So maybe for you, it's 72 degrees. Just make sure that you feel warm and cozy in a blanket. But if you were to take the blanket off or put it halfway up your body, you'd be like, this, I'm cold. That's how you get your best sleep. If you are sweating and you have your blanket off and you're just laying there like this, you are not going to get your best sleep 99 times out of 100. If you need to go lower than 60 degrees because you're Norwegian or some crazy shit and you're covered with hair, totally fine. Again, warm on a blanket and not cold under the blanket. Cold without the blanket is a very, very good way to do things. You can adjust the thermostat. If you have like Google Home, Google Nest, whatever the hell it is, then you can have the thermostat start cooling down in the evening and then start warming up in the morning, which is also really nice because as it warms up in the morning, it actually wakes you up. So if you say, I typically wake up about 8 a.m. and about 7, I want the thermostat to start driving the heat up. By the time it's like 7:45, you're kind of like awake and you're like, ugh, I'm a little hot. And remember, every time you get a little hot, you're like actually start waking up, which is why it's really bad to go to sleep when you're hot, but really good to wake up a little bit warmer. Experiment with breathable bedding materials, cotton, things like that. And cooling pads or cooling beds are cool if you need that sort of thing, if your air conditioning isn't good enough. And definitely fans for warmer climates. But I also use a fan by my bed for that ventilation effect. Making sure that the airflow is always going is a really, really good thing. In our household right now, we switched to 60 to 63 degrees at night. Our Google Home situation will make that happen for us. And my poor Southeast Asian wife is typically dying at such temperatures because she's like an icicle. However, That's part of the master plan, because you see, and what may come as a surprise to you, I sleep in the same bed with my wife. And where is she going to find warmth but in my arms? You want warmth? Let's start with cock. No? Okay, just warmth.
Jesus.
Hey, shut up, Scott. I'm trying to get laid out here. Are you gonna touch me?
Maybe.
Oh, hey, I'm getting lucky. Speaking of luck, number 6, bedroom as a sleep sanctuary. You want lilies, Buddhist monks, the monkeys that live at temples, little pools, shit like that. All right, number 7. Wait, no, what? Here's the thing with a sleep sanctuary. Ideally, you want your bedroom to be a place in which you just do 2 things: sleep and sleep with people, which is to say sex. Scott, did you know that when I was a young child, I heard about the Michael Jackson controversy? And I asked my parents about it. And I basically was confused why it was controversial for people to take lots of money to sleep with Michael Jackson. But in my young brain, I just thought you slept next to him in the bed.
That is what happened.
Right. Scott is a Michael Jackson allegations denier, everyone.
Not convicted in a court of law?
Not convicted in a court of law. We're not getting into this right now, which is what all the children said to Mike, but he never listened. Hey. In any case, you want your bedroom to be for fun times and for sleep times and for probably nothing else. The mechanism here is psychological conditioning. If you start associating your bedroom with work, with stress, with texting, then when you go to bed, your brain's like, okay, I'm in this position. What do I got? I can have sex with whoever's next to me. I can text and scroll and look at YouTube videos. Oh, I guess I can sleep, but that's just one of the things on the list. You want that list to be very short. Sexy time or sleep time, which if you have nice dreams is 2 birds with 1 stone. Real world tips here. Laptops, phones, work materials, get them out of bed. Clutter has been shown to decrease sleep quality. Get your clean bed going. Declutter your room, declutter your bed. Your room should be a very simple, very clean, very minimalist place with a very comfortable bed. That's going to help you sleep a ton. And if you're going to have to engage in activities, get out of bed and go do those activities and come back. That's going to keep the bed the sanctuary psychologically. It's a big deal. It really does help. My wife, Crystal, and I, we used to watch TV in our bedroom. We have a couch and a TV in our bedroom, aside from our also bed. But recently we got upgraded to a mega TV that's in our living room. So we watch TV in the living room and then we migrate to bed for sleep. And that's actually a better way to do it. It's tough to pull this off if you live in a dorm room or you live in a room that you're renting with friends and it's kind of your little work desk in your bedroom. There, your best bet is to try to go to the library to study or do work. And then just separate that from when anytime you're in your bed, you're just chilling or you're just going to sleep. And potentially you can set up a little couch TV area, little desk work area, and then a bed area so that just don't get in bed to do anything other than sleep or copulating with people. That's it. And if you can do that, you can even manage the room situation. But when you're on the couch, you're watching TV or you're scrolling on your phone or you're playing video games. When you're at your desk, you're doing work. When you're in your bed, it's only for sleep. That still helps. Number 7, pre-sleep and wind down rituals are a big deal. Scott, will that video be out already by then? The wind down?
It will be.
We have a video about how to wind down. I share all my tips. So the TLDR here is a consistent, relaxing pre-sleep ritual signals the brain to transition into sleep mode. And this is a habituation thing. You get used to doing relaxing things before you go to bed. All of a sudden, when you start doing those relaxing things, your body's like, oh yeah, relaxing stuff. And it really quickly relaxes you. It doesn't happen right away, but a few days, a few weeks later, it's going to be an awesome habit. What kind of things help in this regard? From taking you from fight or flight, parasympathetic, to, so good God, fight or flight, sympathetic, to parasympathetic, rest and digest mode. A warm bath or hot shower work really well. You can do some meditation. You can do some stretching. You could even do journaling if people do that sort of thing. Probably a good idea to keep that ritual to between 15 and 30 minutes in length and the same sequence each night. So having a ritual of where you brush your teeth, then you take a hot shower, then you curl up with a good book or whatever, and then and you go to bed at whatever 10:30. That sequence, even if it's small, can make a big difference. It's a good idea to dim the lights during that time and to maybe have gentle music or white noise to just really woo-saw your body. I'm going to tell you my average sleep routine. It is not recommended. It's just what I do. My goal on the channel and in real life is to keep it 100 with you guys all the time. So what I do is typically I'll put on my VR goggles to enjoy an adult film by myself in the bathroom. I'm not joking. And even though Scott's laughing at me, my friend, I will shower because, well, caked semen is disgusting to go to sleep with. I will have a Genius shot mixed in with a soda, which gives me 23 grams of high quality protein, 0 grams of carbs, 0 grams of fats. Yay. The soda is diet and caffeine free. So it's just a fun drink to have. And it's usually not a lot of soda because then I'll just pee a lot. So it's a little bit of a drink. Typically when I do this, I will watch something on YouTube. Like I watch documentaries. My wife's usually passed out by that point, or I watch people play military video games, nerdy shit like that. And then I will have my nighttime supplements. I will shoot growth hormone. Yes, it's really a thing. And I will cuddle up in bed and talk to ChatGPT for a little bit and then be like, oh, I can't do this anymore. I'm falling asleep. And then I put my phone, plug it in, turn, fall asleep, clockwork, baby, almost every night. It's a great life. If you thought that making a lot of money and becoming a pseudo world famous in the fitness industry was going to make your life amazing, this is what you have to look forward to. Number 8, complete darkness and minimal noise is huge. Now, I personally don't do complete darkness because I'm afraid of the dark. Scott, are you afraid of the dark?
I mean, that was my favorite show back in the day.
Yeah, it was a good show. I was too scared. I didn't watch it, but I heard it was good. Are you actually afraid of the dark?
Nah.
Like, not at all?
Nah.
Damn, dude, you're a real man.
I like the dark.
Shut up.
I was born in the darkness.
Okay, Batman shit. Got it. So, excess light, especially a lot of excess light, can tell your brain, hey, it's still daytime. Remember, in nature, excess light is incredibly rare. So when it's super dark, your brain's like, hey, we're going to sleep. Disruptive sounds can reduce your ability to go to sleep. If you have irregular sounds, like your neighbors are arguing downstairs while you're trying to fall asleep, that's a non-starter. If you have some regular sounds come up through the night that wake you up, disrupt sleep quality and sleep continuity, that's really bad. The real world tips here are to invest potentially in blackout curtains. Blackout curtains are goated. Put them shits over your window and you're like, holy crap, dude. It could be whatever time out there. It's nighttime in my room, which is really awesome. Especially helps with folks living in big, busy cities because you put blackout curtains up, doesn't matter. You can try an eye mask if the blackout curtain is not an option. It takes a little bit of time to get used to sleeping, but the comfortable eye masks are really awesome. A lot of times I'll travel on airplanes. I'll put the eye mask on and go to sleep. It's really great. You can use earplugs potentially, which again takes some getting used to, and they're not super comfortable often, but sometimes they work out if there's a lot of noise. You can also have a white noise machine. It's a big deal that can help. White noise helps a lot of people because if you have total silence, sometimes your brain starts like listening for like any amount of noise because fight or flight's like, hey man, you better and listen because predators could be sneaking up. But if you have white noise, it gives your brain that, hey, there's noise, but you can't hear anything. And there's no statistical, it's random noise. So there's nothing to get out of that noise. There's nothing to pay attention to. And after a while, your brain's like this and it just goes to sleep. If you have distracting LEDs and electronics, like my wife has one of those automatic toothbrush things, the power toothbrush. Scott, no joke, that thing sits in our bathroom and we have to close our bathroom door because if the bathroom door is open, the shit like every 10 seconds pulses white light. It fills up the room.
Yeah, I have one of those as well.
What is that for?
Why would you do that?
Why? Why? Do you need to tell me my brush is here every 10 seconds? Like, is it like the vibes of it's recharging? Like, I know, I get it. It's recharging. Holy shit, people. It's great. It's a great product, but like that shit's just wild. So you can put tape over stuff like that. You can close doors. Just make sure you're not getting a crap load of light for no reason. Here's what I do. I have a huge hack here. You go to YouTube, get your premium account so that you can close your phone and still have your phone charged and playing the music. You go to your search and you go rain sounds for sleeping. Amazing. You can do thunder. You can do no thunder, gentle rain for sleeping, amazing. But, and I use this as a special treat every now and again, go to YouTube right now and type in 8 hours of Starscapes by Nature Relaxation Films. This is something you can actually watch on your TV before you go to bed. It is some of the most gorgeous video I've ever seen in my life. It's enhanced views of the Milky Way, time-lapsed from various beautiful nature places. And it's nice and dark, but light enough to see. And if you put it up on your phone and you hit your phone screen off so that you can still hear it, it is some of the most beautiful music I have ever heard. I'm not kidding. It's like the best 8 hours of music I've ever listened to in my entire life. I purposefully don't use it too often because I want it to remain special. And it is. 8 hours of Starscapes. They have another one that's 5 hours Starscapes. It's amazing. If you have any recommendations, throw them in the comments because that kind of shit is awesome. All right. Next, regular exercise is really good for promoting sleep. Hard exercise during the day is awesome for sleep because it increases adenosine concentration in the brain, which is one of the signaling molecules that tells you you're tired and makes you go to sleep. Makes sense. You do a lot of hard exercise, like I can take a nap. And that really does help. A lot of people that struggle with insomnia are just insufficiently physically active. They do kind of desk jobs. Getting them out there, beating that ass, doing a CrossFit workout really, really helps. But the critical timing here is that hard training cannot occur any closer than about 3 hours before bedtime, and ideally more like 6. So morning and afternoon workouts are really, really great. You can do a little bit of light activity, which is totally fine. Things like stretching or yoga or a little bit of a walk. That can be done up to an hour before bed, but stay the hell away from super hard activity close to bed and do plenty of it way, way, way before bed. For my own personal stuff, my wife and I will take an evening walk most evenings as late as 8 to 9 p.m. After that, it's mostly we sit on the couch and chill. I train in the morning, so it's all good to me. I don't ever have that overlapping effect. And I really do encourage you guys to train a little bit earlier in the day because you want at least 2 post-workout meals before you go to bed so your muscles have some food to feed on and actually grow and recover instead of training late at night, having a quick snack and going to bed. That's like 8 hours of you kind of fasting after your workout, more or less. That's not a good idea. You need to feed your muscles. So I would say finish your workout at the latest at maybe 7 p.m. and then have a meal at 7:30, have another lighter meal at 10, and you're good to go. Any earlier is also better, but just don't go too late because then you're going to be fight or flight. You're going to be sympathetic overdrive. You're not going to be able to fall asleep, and you won't be able to eat all the meals that you need to really recover from and grow muscle from your workout. Number 10 dovetails well into this. Having light evening meals instead of heavy evening meals. Eating large meals closer to bedtime worsens sleep quality, but lighter dinners improve sleep onset. You don't want to be totally hungry. You're not going to fall asleep like that, but you also don't want to be overfull. If you're overfull, heavy digestion actually raises your body temperature, which is exactly the opposite of what kicks you into sleep. That's no good. And that reduces your probability of falling asleep on time. And if you do fall asleep on time, it almost certainly degrades your sleep quality for an hour or two. No good. No good at all. So the real world tip is to have dinner 2 to 3 hours before bedtime. You can have a meal closer to bedtime. It's totally fine. But what you want to do is really emphasize having moderate to high protein and low to moderate carbs and low to moderate fats. You want to avoid overly spicy food or acidic food if it gives you gastrointestinal reflux, that's for sure. If you're hungry before bed or within an hour of bed, you can choose a small snack like Greek yogurt. That often helps. What I do is I do a Genius shot or 2 with soda as my last meal very often. A lot of times I'll have Greek yogurt. I with the 20 grams of protein and 3 grams of fat per serving. I think there's the Oikos Greek yogurts. I have like 2 or 3 of those. They're awesome. Casein shake or casein pudding works really well. Don't overconsume fluids because you're going to wake up a bunch to pee. Keep it low fluid. That works. A lot of times I'll have some ground turkey with avocado oil and a bit of salt and seasoning, and I rarely have any more food than that. I still like spirit-wise, I love eating a load of food and falling asleep. It's bad for your health, it's bad for your sleep, it's bad for gains, so I don't really do that much anymore. It's sad, but such is life. Scott, you know what you can actually eat before bed? And I found this out just recently. It actually really, really promotes good sleep.
I have some ideas, but go ahead.
This dick. Do you want to try it?
I think Huberman would approve, so I meant.
What was that? Okay, again, a new video guy required for the YouTube channel. Please submit your resume in the comments. Number 11, the last major tip, and this is a big one. This is one that I have struggled valiantly against and doing better. Thoughts of what could have been. No, sorry. That's just daily life. Avoiding evening arousal. Which doesn't mean arousal in this case, though it also does. Drama and what's called digital temptation. Let's discuss. If you want the best sleep, you have to be in a relaxed, parasympathetic, non-fight or flight state of mind. If you go onto what is called by researchers the internet, you may find relaxation and calm, but you might also find emotionally charged online debates. Scott, let's do a debate really quick. Can you tell me I'm wrong?
Mike, that's just wrong.
No, you're wrong.
No.
Block.
I'm right.
Delete. Go to my own social media, rage post about you. That's it. Scott and I just did the whole internet for you. We summed it all up. Don't do that. That'll keep your ass awake because you'll get pissed. That's fight or flight. And try, I know this sucks. If you really want good sleep, try to avoid provocative late night interactions like sexting and flirt texting. And it's really the same thing, right? So heated arguments or flirtatious exchanges trigger your sympathetic nervous system, fight or flight, arousal, fight, flight, or, well, I guess the other thing that also starts with an F, love, and increases cortisol and increases adrenaline. So that does not put you to sleep. And it's tempting. I know. So what are some real world tips? You can enforce a no controversial debates after dinner rule. I actually don't even watch political programming after dinner. And I sure as shit don't go debate people after dinner. Dating apps. Scott, what are them? Hinge, Swipe, Tinder,
Bumble, Grindr for you,
Christian Singles,
J-Date for you,
J-Date.
Farmers Only.
Farmers Only was a sweet site, is a sweet site. J-Date, I have a joke about J-Date that I can't say on this channel or any public forum. But you ever meet me in real life, ask me about my J-Date joke. It's not a lot of joke, but it's a giggle. Get them apps and silence your app notifications. You do not need to be pinged by that one girl that keeps trying to get it at 1 a.m. I'm trying to sleep, bitch. Stop. Instead, because like, okay, so I tell you, okay, don't do this kind of stuff. You're like, all right, fine, Dr. Mike, I won't do it. But then what are you supposed to do? You need different activities. You can do reading. You can do podcasts that are like cool storytelling podcasts instead of like super exciting ones. Gentle music. You can chat with your significant other. You can talk to your dog, even though he's asleep and never really cared for you. And you knew never really loved you, but you purchased the dog. He can't return himself. Go to a website called Marginal Revolution. It's technical economics literature and summaries of also boring technical economics articles that come out every day. Read you some Marginal Revolution. You'll be out in no time. It'll be great. And you might learn something too. Shit like that, calmer, more intellectual reading is a really good idea. You guys remember when you were studying in 10th grade and you were trying to do the biology exam, but then every time you opened the book, about 15 minutes later, you fell asleep? Use that to your advantage. It's a really, really big deal. And look, you can doom scroll any other time of the day. Just don't let it ruin your sleep. What do I do in this case to wrap things up? I straight up almost never read comments anymore. Because if I can't debate you line by line, point by point, proving my intellectual superiority, I just get pissed at seeing the comment. And then it wraps around in my brain and chokes me to death. It's a huge flaw and quite open about it. And so I don't really do a whole lot of comments reading super often, and especially sure as shit not late at night. This I've done for late at night comments. I've avoided for years because I just know it just sends me to the moon. Most people on the internet are dope, but a few people who think they know things but really don't and say upsetting things, they really get under my skin much more than I'd like to admit, though I just admitted it. It really drives me crazy to read shit like that. Or as the Latinas say, crazy. Speaking of which, if you happen to be a Latina, You need to know about Jared Feather IFBB Pro. Let me tell you why. Scott loves this part.
Jesus.
Jared Feather is a 5'10", 5'11" tall man. Jared is in his early 30s. Jared is single. He's a professional bodybuilder. He is a master's degree holder. He is a person that takes care of pretty much all of his family with his millionaire finances. None of this is a joke. And he's going to love you, especially if you're Latina or Southeast Asian, like you've never been loved before. And so, especially if you're a Latina, consider the RP Diet Coach app. Because you're Latina, you're almost flawless. A few weeks of dieting with the RP Diet Coach app, bring that body fat down a little bit, bring that muscularity up, and you might even be noticed by a Mr. Jared Feather and end up in his arms, which would be amazing. Also, and this is the last thing I'll say, I promise. You guys know that series, Star Wars series on Disney Channel called Andor? You feel me? That one girl, Andor's wife or whatever, girlfriend, Bix. You know what I'm saying, man, girl? You don't have to run and hide from no empire. King Jerry's got your back. Put them sleeping pills away, girl. Who's gonna protect you better? Jared Feather, IFBB Pro, photo here, or Darth Vader and the Empire and the Emperor and all the stormtroopers? It's not even close. Will he break your heart in the end? Probably. But it'll be really fun while it happens. So Bix, or whoever actress that is, Jared Feather lives and exists, and he already knows about you, and he is ready and full of love. Why the f*** did we talk about Jared Feather for a long time? Because he is, period. And I'll see you guys next time. Sweet dreams.